Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. This is my third video today. I'm addicted to make videos today. Apparently, I'm enjoying the light and everything. My dogs hopefully won't interrupt this uh, ep episode, I guess you call it. But I'm going to go ahead and do this while some of the questions are still ruminating in my mind before I forget all about it, because I tend to forget things pretty quickly. But it is, again, Avery Fawcett did a hashtag 25 deep questions VR. I don't know who she did it from at all, but she has all the questions on her channel, which I will link below on here. I did earlier the 15 cosmic questions she did. And so, yeah, like I said earlier, I've been wanting to do some more VRs, just kind of get me more comfortable with doing these videos. And the last one I did, I think, was the A to Z Simon's at the Hermit's Cave. And I'm like, there hasn't been one since then. And then last couple of days, I'm like, I really want to do another VR. And then all of a sudden, there's a ton on there. So talk about manifesting things. So yeah, there's 25 questions on here. Let me just get into them. So number 1, are you living a meaningful life? And I almost didn't do this because of that. Because I have no answer for that. Would I like to be living a meaningful life? Yes. Am I working on it? Yes. So we'll leave that question 1 at that. Number 2, what's the one thing you cannot live without? And I would say my family. Yeah. So 3, when is it acceptable, if ever, to disobey the law? And I'm going to say it's never okay to disobey the law. The laws are in place for a reason. Except for, there's always exceptions to rules. Some people can say rules are meant to be broken. If it is in service of something greater. If the law isn't right, we know it's not right, it is our responsibility to go beyond the law and effect change to change it. So yeah, that's number 3. Number 4, what do you want your final words to be? I don't know. Some of these are deep, and I'm just like, you put me on the spot, even though I've read through them. I'm like, I still feel like I'm on the spot here. I want it to be something profound. Maybe I'll have something more profound by the time I am on my deathbed. Who knows? That was 4. Number 5, what inspires you most? And I said this in a previous video. My daughter inspires me the most. She doesn't let things hold her back. She goes for what she wants and gets it. And I strive to be more like her every day. Number 6, what do you think are the most beautiful things in the world and why? What do you think are the 5 most beautiful things in the world and why? And I've actually given this some thought. Ancient ruins, amazing, beautiful. Just the simple fact that at one time, when mankind should not have been able to build these temples and these cathedrals the way they did so intricately, and they did, astounds me. And they're beautiful, and I love the fact that they're still here. They're part of our history. They're part of who we once were and where we've come since then. And it's a reminder to us that they are no longer here. To kind of, learn from our mistakes. And from the way the world is going right now, I don't think we are. Honestly, But I think those ancient ruins are here to remind us that life can slip through our fingers like that, and we need to cherish it. Um, so yeah, I only did one, but ancient ruins, um, cathedrals, beautiful cathedrals, um, natural um, landmarks like the Grand Canyon. That's something greater than you that created this beautiful thing. And yeah. And then I would have to say the last two would be the sun and the moon, because they uh, they are doing their own thing out, hanging out in the sky. And there's something very cosmic, very, very universal, very um, beyond me in my own thinking that causes them to rotate in a certain way or be how they are. And it's when you think about it, it's very daunting. But at the same time, it's a natural form of life, natural pace of life, and I just find that very beautiful. So number 7, what makes you feel most empowered? I don't know. um, and it may sound selfish, but being proven right when I'm right. Um, uh, I'm around a lot of people that, like, okay, for example, years ago, my sister-in-law befriended a coworker of ours because we worked together at a call center for a credit card company. And I look at it back now that I've been on this spiritual journey, and I'm like, oh, that was clearly an ability I have. I've always had it. I've always been able to look at someone and know if they're a good person or not. And I just chalked it up back then to, oh, it's my superpower. Just, I don't know how I know these things. I just know these things. And um, it, this always happened even before my spiritual journey. And I've actually had to go back and re-examine a lot of things that I've been through, a lot of experiences I've had since my spiritual journey. And I'm like, yeah, that was spirit, or that was my natural ability I have. And so I've had to like rename those names. But yeah, she befriended someone at work, and that I found out a few weeks later, was a friend of someone else who I knew that was not a good person. They were best friends. And as soon as I met her, I got this creepy feeling, this not great vibe, this kind of fake attitude type of personality. And I explained that to my sister-in-law. And then I found out, of course, she was friends with this other person that I knew was a negative personality, that was toxic. And I was like, yeah, their misery loves company, obviously, because they're best friends. And I warned my sister-in-law. I was like, watch your step, watch your toes with her, because she's not who she says she is. And of course, months later, I was proven right, because she didn't listen. She got burned by this person. And I'm not trying to sound cocky about it. I'm just like, people, that's the kind of stuff happens to me a lot, and people still tend to not listen to my advice or things, even when they ask for it. They tend to not listen. And then when I'm proven right, I'm like, well, I told you. So yeah, that kind of does give me a little empowerment, maybe a little bit of cockiness in there. But because there's just so many people that don't believe me when I tell them this is not good for you. And they do it anyway. And then everything I told them happens. So that's 7. Number 8, what is more important, what you say or how you say it? I think it's a blend of the two. First and foremost, as a writer, what I say is the most important. But with this society we have today, where everybody gets offended over everything, you kind of have to learn to watch how you say what you say. So I think in this day and age, it is a blend of the two. But yeah, first and foremost, is what you say that empowers people, that changes people. Words matter. Um, so number 8, what is more important? What you say? Oh, I already read that was number 8. Number 9, do you believe in heaven or hell? Yes, I believe there is another dimension. That when we pass, um, we could potentially go to one or the other. I think hell is, um, yes, in the Bible, it's all about fire and brimstone and all this, but I think hell is what you make it. Hell is when you pass, because I've done a lot of research on this. A lot of people have this idea that when you pass because you've committed suicide or did horrible things in life, there's a time period where you go through it. You're reliving this. You're realizing all of your mistakes that you made. And to me, that is the hell that you're going through, because once you pass, you still have to answer for yourself. There's still someone you are have to answering to of why you did these things, and that is yourself. And even alive, looking in the mirror, it is a very hard thing for us as humans to look at ourselves in the mirror and recognize our flaws and try to learn from them and grow from them. So I couldn't even imagine once we passed, and we were this horrible, horrible human being, we immediately realized all of these things were horrible, but then we got to work through it. And it's almost like a double whammy kind of deal. So yeah, to me that is, and then once you work through it, there comes the heaven part where you passed it. So yeah, that's my answer for that one. And that was number 9. Number 10, do you live to work or work to live? I'm trying to work to live. Trying to live to work. I work to live right now. Got to put food on the table. Right now, I'm on work furlough, so I am on unemployment until my job picks back up after the virus has done whatever it's going to do. But I am a writer. I am trying to get to the point where I can live and work and play at the same time. So yeah. Number 11, do you trust anyone with your life? No. Where was I? I had to pause it again because every time I've done a video today, my dog has to go outside. Number 11, do you trust anyone with your life? No. There's people I love. There's people I trust implicitly. My husband being one of them, but trusting someone else, putting your life in someone else's hands, purposefully, no. It's not to say that I don't trust him or love him, but my life is mine, and the choices I make, the mistakes I make are mine. So why would I trust something that big to someone else other than myself? So yeah, that's the answer to that one. Number 12, would you consider yourself an introvert or extrovert? Definitely an introvert. Being on quarantine, yes, I'm a little, it's been like a week and a couple days since I went on work furlough, and I have absolutely nothing going on during the day now. It's been a little of an adjustment, but I can sit and watch movies. I can sit and read a book. I can read some tarot cards. I can do videos, which I've been doing a lot of the last couple of days. There's so many things I could do around the house that I'm just like, why? I love going out in my yard and walking barefoot and meditating outside and stuff in my yard. But beyond that, I'm good. Just leave me be in the yard, in the house. Number 13, do you believe in true love? Yes. And it doesn't necessarily mean romantic love. I believe um, there is that one person out there for you um, that balances you out. Fortunately for me, I've married that person. But I also have had friendships that it was a true connection, a true love with just. And since I've started my spiritual journey, it's made me realize it wasn't just romantic love. It was a bond that this person came into my life because I was needing to learn things. And I was afterward told, like the very first past life reading I had done, I was told this person was in every lifetime I've ever had. So yeah, they're no longer in my life right now. And true love can run its course. You just have to take the moments when you get it. Yeah. Number 14. How do you think the world will change in 10, 50, or 100 years? Oh, God. I don't even want to know. I don't even want to think about it. As it is right now, I don't even want to think about 10 years, let alone 50 or 100 years from now. When I think of 50 or 100 years or from now, I think of the movie Time Machine, where he goes way in the future and there's like underground people and they're all having like these psychic connections of demons killing them, and nobody lives past like 38 or something. But that's what I think of in that future. 10 years, I don't even want to think about it. With the president we got now and everything going on, I dread looking at 10 years from now, honestly. 15, if you had the option to know the date and circumstances of your death, would you? I would be curious to know, but no. Everybody wants to know when they're going to die. But I think I would become obsessed with this date. I wouldn't live my life anymore. I would just stop living. And the whole point of being alive is living your life. And so for that reason, I would say no. What one was that? Number 16, what is something you are certain you will never experience? And I had this yesterday when I saw this, but now I don't know. I can't even remember what I was going to say. Oh, skydiving. I'm not afraid of heights, but there's something about free falling, possibly to your death, that no, it's never happening ever. I keep losing my place. I'm sorry. Number 17. What impression do you think you give when you first meet someone? And I've been told it's not good. I'm introvert. I'm a very shy person in person. It takes me a long time, and because I've been, for lack of a better word, screwed over before from friendships, it takes me a very long time to actually trust someone enough to open up and show them the nice side of me, the bright, bubbly side of me. So I've had a lot of people say, oh man, you're a real hateful person when I first met you, and now you're totally different. And I'm not trying to come off mean or rude or hateful. I'm just distant. But for some reason it comes off as bitchy or hateful or like I think I'm better than them, and I'm not meaning to do that at all. I'm not trying to, and I don't know. But yeah, I've been told that multiple times. But I'm working on that. So, number 18, how would your perfect partner treat you? I have the perfect partner. Even as the perfect partner, relationships are not easy. Because there's always that room for growth and change in a person, and You could grow apart. You could grow even closer together. Uh, you, Relationships take work no matter what. But the perfect person, I've married him. Um, he knows what's important. He has the same values. He has the same morals as I do. He works hard to support and provide for his family. And when I feel like I am at my worst, that the world can get no worse, he can make me laugh. Um, Anytime we've had financial issues, I know because of him, we're going to make it through. Anytime I've had health issues and I was scared to death that I was going to die, because that's happened 2 or 3 times, he was right there, like, nothing's happening to you. I'm here for you. And that's that kind of support. I've never had that growing up. Being raised in an abusive home, I never had anyone that I could lean on. And he is that person for me, that I can lean on for anything. And of course, there's always the humor factor, because he makes me laugh at least once a day, whether I want to or not. He makes me laugh at least once a day. What one responsibility, number 19, what one responsibility do you wish you did not have? There's a laundry list: paying bills, cleaning house, and all that entails. So yeah, those. Number 20, what is something you are embarrassed by because you're good at it? I would say my writing, because I still don't, and I think that is what, to me, makes a mark of a great writer, is someone that doesn't know how good they actually are. I've been told that I'm a fantastic writer. I've been told that my book, sorry, I had another interruption. It just keeps going on today. I totally forgot where I was. Was something you're embarrassed by? Yeah, the writing thing, because I've been told my book that I self-published was like a diamond in the rough. That, sorry, my kids are crazy now. But I get embarrassed when people brag on how good my work is. I actually have a frame piece of work I did right there. It was actually shown in a library. The local public library started doing like shows, events where local writers would post their stuff and it be framed and stuff. So I was one of in the first group. I had a radio interview for my book. I did a book reading at my bookstore that I love. And there was a lot of embarrassment there, because people were like, oh my God, this is like, they're bawling because I touched them so much with the book. And it was kind of embarrassing for me. So yeah, there's that. I keep losing my place. Okay, number 21. How do you recharge? I recharge by reading, meditating, writing. Yeah. Now, 22. What's one thing you most want to achieve before you die? The one thing I want before I die is to affect some kind of change in people's views on spirituality, religion, to have other people open up their mind to the fact that we need more people helping our children, and with child abuse and battered women, and just seeing more kindness in the world. So yeah, that. Number 23, what is something that offends you? And that kind of goes hand in hand with the one I just said. Was that 20? What's the one thing? Okay. Wait. Yeah. So, what is something that offends you? I think it goes hand in hand with what I said earlier about being right, because that highly offends me and my intelligence when I get told, "Oh, you don't know what you're talking about," and then something comes up where, of course, I was right because I was listening to my gut. Um, so yeah, that actually highly offends me because it makes me feel like they don't think I'm as bright as I am or smart as I am. Now, I didn't go to college or any of that, but I do have a head on my shoulders and I do use it. So, um, to be made feel to be made to feel like I'm stupid um, or kind of ditzy really kind of irks me. 24. What part of your culture are you most or least proud of? Um, yeah, and there's so many even today. Um, People are all about the racism that was done with the slaves, but there was slaves before that. The Indians, the Native Americans in the United States before it was the United States, and that's kind of been just to me kind of glossed over as the centuries have gone on because um, racism kind of took over uh, what over it kind of glossed over that and um, that is just what I'm most embarrassed about is or most ashamed of or least proud of is that the Native American history of our country has just kind of been glossed over and not really given the recognition that it deserves. um, I am proud. It's also I'm proud of that at the same time because there's still tribes out there. Yes, they're on a reservation, but they're still practicing. There's still shamans out there. They're still out there in the night, beating on a drum, doing their rituals and their things, and they're still around and they're still alive and they're still prominent in certain communities. And I love that. So yeah, that is 24. 25, what makes you angry about your country? And I can tell you right now, there's a long list. Number one is that um, everybody seems to be followers now. Um, you see one thing on the news and they're like, oh, yeah. And then you see something opposite on the news and they're like, oh, yeah. No one's listening to themselves. No one's getting in touch with their gut and listening to what their gut is saying about certain politicians, certain laws that are trying to be passed, certain things. And if they really sat and listened to their gut's going to tell them, what are you doing? Why are you doing this? Because you become a follower. You want to be in the in crowd. And when it comes to our politics and our religions and our rights, it is not about being a follower. It is about doing what you feel in your gut and knowing your gut is right. So yeah, that is probably the number one thing right now that I'm over it. I'm about ready to go move to a deserted island and just make grass skirts for a living. So yeah, at this point. So yeah, that is my 25 hashtag 25 questions to Avery Fawcett's VR. I will link her channel below so you guys can look at all the questions. And if you like this video, give me a thumbs up. If you want to see more, please subscribe. And you guys have a great day. Hopefully this will be my last video today.